That I was dismantling our carefully constructed plans? That his financial support was a foregone conclusion? These thoughts swirl in my mind, relentless, as I replay the past weeks leading up to this moment. Every detail feels magnified, every decision sharper in hindsight. Hey, this is Harry. The evening sun streams through Marino's windows, casting a golden way over our usual table. It feels like a scene from a painting, perfectly composed, warm, inviting. I fiddle with my water glass, watching the distorted reflection of Linda's animated face dance across its surface. She's captivating tonight, commanding the table with her story of corporate triumph. I put the sustainability report right on the CEO's desk, Linda declares, her voice steady but crackling with conviction. Her dark curls catch the light, framing her face like a halo. 300 pages of documented violations, she continues, her hands slicing through the air like a conductor leading an orchestra. You should have seen his face when I showed him the carbon footprint data. Our friends lean in, spellbound. Even Jack, the usual conversational monopolizer, sits back, nodding with genuine interest. Linda's passion has a gravitational pull that draws everyone in, including me. I glance at her, pride swelling in my chest. This is the woman I fell in love with, brilliant, unyielding, driven by a desire to make the world better. 3 years ago, I met Linda at the downtown farmer's market. She was standing by a table of heirloom tomatoes, passionately debating the merits of organic farming with the vendor. Her fervor was magnetic, her knowledge staggering. I stood there, entranced, as she argued her point with a smile that hinted at both determination and playfulness. I forgot about my running group, forgot about the time, forgot everything except her. Now every moment feels like an extension of that first spark. Whether she's advocating for sustainability or curling up on the couch with a book, she's always unapologetically herself. It's one of the many things I adore about her. Melinda raises her glass, breaking the spell of Linda's story. To Linda, the conscience of corporate America. Laughter ripples around the table, but I catch the faintest shadow pass over Linda's face. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, the way her lips tighten, the way her eyes momentarily lose their sparkle. She hates labels, even complimentary ones. Rising star, corporate hero. She doesn't want to be a symbol, she just wants to get things done. Beneath the table, I squeeze her hand. Her fingers intertwine with mine, and I feel her tension ease. She glances at me, a small smile curving her lips. It's a silent exchange, one we've perfected over the years. I'm here. I see you. The waiter arrives, plates of steaming pasta shifting the conversation to lighter topics. Jack regales us with yet another tale of his home renovation misadventures, complete with exaggerated hand gestures and theatrical groans. Normally, I'd join in, but tonight, my mind is elsewhere. The velvet box in my sock drawer weighs heavily on my thoughts. 2 months' salary transformed into ethically sourced diamonds and recycled gold, the only kind Linda would approve of. I've planned everything down to the last detail. A sunrise hike to Beacon Point, her favorite spot overlooking the valley. 4 more days, and I'll ask her to marry me. Harry, Linda's voice pulls me back to the present. Her dark eyes lock onto mine, curiosity flickering in their depths. Where'd you go? I smile, leaning over to kiss her cheek. Her familiar lavender scent calms me, grounding me in the moment. Sorry, just thinking about houseplants. What color scheme do you want for our future bathroom? Her face lights up, and she laughs, a sound like wind chimes in spring. Harry, we've been over this. neutral tones with a pop of green. You've seen my Pinterest board. We've spent countless evenings sketching our dream home on napkins and in notebooks. Solar panels, a vegetable garden, an east-facing home office for her early morning calls. She's already researching school districts, planning years into the future. It's one of the things I love most about her, her ability to dream big while staying firmly grounded in reality. Let's focus on the down payment first, she says, ever pragmatic. Though, if this merger goes through, her voice trails off, and I see the wheels turning in her mind. The merger. It's consumed her life these past months, late nights, endless phone calls, a seemingly insurmountable pile of documents. But the payoff would be huge, enough to accelerate our plans and maybe even fund the sabbatical she dreams of, working with environmental nonprofits abroad. Walking home through lamplit streets, Linda wraps her arms around my elbow. The city feels quiet, intimate, as if the world has shrunk to just the two of us. Cherry blossoms drift in the breeze, their delicate petals carpeting the sidewalk. Thanks for insisting on dinner out, Linda murmurs. I needed a break from merger documents. Anything for you, I reply, pressing a kiss to the top of her head. The imagined weight of the velvet box tugs at my thoughts. 4 more days until Beacon Point. 4 more days until I ask her to share forever with me. Linda stops abruptly beneath a flowering tree, turning to face me. Her eyes sparkle with mischief. You're being unusually sweet tonight, she says, her tone teasing. What did you do? Crash the car? I laugh, pulling her into a playful spin. Can't a man appreciate his girlfriend without suspicion? Statistically unlikely, she retorts, but her grin is wide, and she lets me twirl her in slow circles under the falling petals. Her head rests against my chest, her trust palpable in the way she leans into me. Our shadows stretch long under the streetlights, merging into one on the pavement. I think about the ring, the future home, the life we're building together. Linda hums softly, a tune I don't recognize, her arms tightening around mine. In this moment, everything feels perfect, like the universe is aligning just for us. Yet beneath the perfection, there's an undercurrent of uncertainty. It's not about the proposal. I know she'll say yes. It's about the enormity of what we're building, the dreams, the sacrifices, the compromises. Love is easy, building a life together is hard. But as I look at her, standing there bathed in moonlight and cherry blossoms, I know one thing with absolute certainty. It's worth it. Linda tilts her head up, her eyes meeting mine. What are you thinking about? I smile, brushing a stray curl from her face. You. Us. The future. Her expression softens, and she stands on her tiptoes to kiss me. It's a kiss full of promises, unspoken yet deeply understood. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. For now, I let the moment linger, savoring the warmth of her hand in mine and the quiet joy of a love that feels like coming home. The next morning, Linda is already gone when I wake up. The sun streams through the blinds, and the quiet hum of the city filters into the room. On the kitchen counter, I find her note. Early meeting. See you tonight. Love you. Her neat handwriting curves with precision, each letter so distinctly her. I can't help but smile. Linda has always had this way of making even the smallest things feel special. I pour myself a cup of coffee, savoring the warmth as I sit at the dining table. The morning paper lies in front of me, half forgotten, as my phone buzzes with a message. It's from Emma, my colleague. Emma, don't forget about the faculty meeting at 3. Also, When are you going to introduce me to this amazing girlfriend of yours? I chuckle, typing back a quick reply. Me. Soon, I promise. She's incredible, but work's been keeping us busy. It's true. Linda and I have been so immersed in our respective worlds lately that even small moments together feel like luxuries. But I know that's about to change. In a few days, everything will be different. Once we're engaged, I'll make sure the world knows how much she means to me. The day unfolds in its usual routine, a blur of lectures, office hours, and hurried conversations with students. By the time I return home, the soft glow of the living room lamp spills out through the window. Inside, Linda is sprawled on the couch, a glass of wine in her hand. Her blazer is draped over the armrest, her heels kicked off haphazardly. She looks tired, but there's a serene beauty in the way she leans back, eyes closed, her hair slightly tousled. Long day? I ask, setting my bag down and sitting beside her. She opens her eyes, smiling faintly. You have no idea. The merger is moving forward, though. The CEO actually smiled today. I didn't know he was capable of that. Progress, I say with a grin, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. But don't forget to take care of yourself, too. She sighs, leaning into me. I'll try. We sit like that for a while, no words needed. The weight of the day melts away in the quiet comfort of each other's presence. Moments like these remind me why I'm so sure about us. Life can be chaotic, but we always find our way back to each other. Saturday arrives with clear skies, just as the forecast predicted. I wake before the sun, the morning air cool against my skin. The ring box sits securely in my backpack, tucked beneath a bottle of water and some granola bars. Linda stirs as I lace up my boots, her voice groggy. What time is it? Early, I reply, brushing a kiss against her forehead. But trust me, the sunrise hike will be worth it. Come on, sleepyhead. She groans dramatically, but eventually gets out of bed, pulling on her hiking gear with exaggerated sluggishness. By the time we reach the trailhead, the first rays of dawn are stretching across the horizon. The air is crisp, carrying the faint scent of pine. This better be good, Harry, she teases, still shaking off the remnants of sleep. Oh, it will be, I say, trying to keep my nerves in check. The trail to Beacon Point is steep but familiar. We've hiked it a dozen times before, but today feels different. My heart races with every step, not from the climb, but from the weight of the small box in my bag. Linda walks ahead of me, her cheeks flushed from the cool morning air and the exertion. The way the sunlight catches her hair makes my breath catch. You okay back there? She calls over her shoulder, a playful smirk on her lips. Just admiring the view, I reply, earning an eye roll. When we reach the overlook, the world opens up before us. The valley below is bathed in golden light, a patchwork of green and gold, stretching as far as the eye can see. Linda steps to the edge, taking it all in. It's perfect up here, she murmurs, her voice soft with wonder. I take a deep breath, my fingers brushing against the velvet box in my pocket. Linda, I begin, my voice steady, but my heart pounding. She turns to face me, her brows furrowing slightly in curiosity. What is it? I drop to one knee, pulling the box from my pocket and opening it to reveal the ring. Her eyes widen, her hand flying to her mouth. Linda, I say, the words tumbling out in a rush. You're my best friend, my partner, my everything. I can't imagine a life without you. Will you marry me? For a moment, the world seems to pause. The birds stop singing, the breeze stills, and it's just us. Tears glisten in her eyes as she nods. Yes, she whispers, her voice breaking. Yes, of course. Relief and joy flood through me as I slip the ring onto her finger. She pulls me into a kiss, and for a while, nothing else matters. The future feels limitless, filled with promise and adventure. But somewhere in the back of my mind, that tiny voice whispers again. Perfect moments often come right before everything changes. The days after the proposal are a whirlwind of happiness. We tell our families, our friends, and anyone who will listen. Linda can't stop staring at her ring, and I can't stop staring at her. But life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. A week later, Linda comes home late, her face pale and her hands trembling. She doesn't even take off her coat before collapsing onto the couch. "What's wrong?" I ask, kneeling in front of her. She looks at me, her eyes brimming with tears. "It's work," she says, her voice barely a whisper. "The merger, it's not going as planned. They're cutting jobs, Harry. A lot of them. I might be next." I pull her into my arms, holding her tightly. "We'll figure it out," I say, even as uncertainty knots in my stomach. Over the next few weeks, the stress takes its toll. Linda becomes withdrawn, her usual warmth replaced by a quiet anxiety. I try to be there for her, but cracks begin to form in the foundation we've built. One night, after a particularly tense argument, she looks at me with tears in her eyes. "Harry, what if we're rushing into this?" "What if?" "Don't," I interrupt, my voice firm. "Don't doubt us, Linda. We're stronger than this." She nods, but the doubt lingers in her gaze. Months pass, and things slowly begin to stabilize. Linda finds a new job, one that reignites her passion, and we start planning the wedding in earnest. But something has shifted. The proposal, as perfect as it was, marked not just the beginning of a new chapter, but also the start of challenges we hadn't anticipated. And yet, through it all, one thing remains constant: us. Because perfect moments don't last forever, but the love and commitment that create them can. As I sit beside Linda on our wedding day, watching her laugh with our friends and family, I realize that voice in the back of my mind was right. Perfect moments do often come before everything changes, but sometimes change leads to something even better.